Imagine discovering that the greatest door in your life has never been locked. Imagine realizing that every setback, every unanswered prayer, every closed opportunity, and every moment you believed the universe had abandoned you was actually waiting for one thing: not more effort, not more struggle, but a different way of seeing yourself. What if I told you that ancient seekers believed Sophia, the timeless symbol of divine wisdom, left behind not a secret spell or hidden ritual, but a pattern of awareness capable of transforming the person who understands it? What if this divine code isn't something you find in an old manuscript, but something already written within your own consciousness? Stay with me until the very end, because the final principle we reveal has challenged the way countless people think about purpose, opportunity, and inner transformation. Many people search their entire lives for this understanding without ever recognizing it when it appears. Before we begin, if you're someone who is searching for deeper wisdom rather than empty promises, take a moment to subscribe and join thousands of thoughtful viewers exploring ancient symbolism, timeless philosophy, and spiritual insight together. And while you're watching, ask yourself one simple question: what if everything I've been waiting for has been waiting for me to change first? Because once you truly understand Sophia's divine code, you may never look at your life or your own potential the same way again. Long before modern ideas about personal growth, success, or self-improvement became popular, civilizations across the ancient world preserved stories about a mysterious presence known as Sophia. Her name has echoed through philosophy, sacred literature, and mystical traditions for centuries. While interpretations differ, Sophia has often been understood not as a person to worship, but as a symbol of wisdom itself. The quiet voice that helps people discern truth from illusion and live with greater clarity. Many imagine that wisdom arrives dramatically, accompanied by extraordinary experiences or sudden revelations. Yet the traditions surrounding Sophia often point in a different direction. They suggest that wisdom begins almost invisibly, in the ordinary moments, when a person chooses awareness over distraction, patience over impulse, and truth over comforting illusion. These choices may seem small, but over time they reshape the way a person experiences the world. Think about how often people search outside themselves for the missing piece they believe will finally complete their lives. They chase recognition, wealth status, relationships, or perfect circumstances, believing that fulfillment lies just beyond the next achievement. Yet even after reaching those milestones, many discover an unsettling truth: external success alone cannot quiet inner confusion. This observation appears again and again throughout history. Philosophers wrote about it. Mystics reflected upon it. Spiritual teachers described it using different languages and symbols. But they often pointed toward the same insight. Lasting transformation begins within. This is where the idea of Sophia's divine code becomes meaningful. Not as a literal code hidden in a forgotten book, but as a symbolic pattern of inner transformation. Imagine that your thoughts are like architects, quietly designing the structure of your future. Every belief you repeat, every story you tell yourself, every assumption you make about your own worth becomes another brick in that invisible construction. If those beliefs are rooted in fear, the structure becomes narrow and fragile. Opportunities may appear threatening rather than exciting. Relationships become difficult to trust. Challenges seem like proof of inadequacy rather than invitations to grow. Gradually, without realizing it, people begin living inside walls they unknowingly built themselves. Sophia's symbolism invites us to notice those walls. The remarkable thing about human perception is that it rarely presents reality exactly as it is. Instead, it presents reality filtered through expectations, memories, habits, and beliefs. Two people can experience the same event and leave with entirely different conclusions because each interprets it through a different internal framework. Imagine standing before a magnificent sunrise while wearing dark glasses you have forgotten you're wearing. The sun hasn't become dimmer. The world hasn't lost its brilliance. Yet your experience is limited because of the lens through which you observe it. Many ancient traditions suggest that wisdom begins the moment we recognize our own lenses. This recognition is not always comfortable. It asks difficult questions. What assumptions have I accepted without examination? Which fears have quietly directed my decisions for years? Which limitations exist only because I continue believing they are permanent? Sophia's wisdom doesn't condemn these questions. Instead, it welcomes them. Throughout history, seekers described moments when they realized they had mistaken familiarity for truth. They had accepted inherited beliefs without reflection, followed expectations that didn't truly belong to them, or pursued goals that satisfied everyone except themselves. These realizations often marked the beginning of profound personal transformation. Not because the external world changed overnight, but because the individual began relating to life differently. Modern psychology echoes similar ideas. Our perceptions influence our decisions. Our decisions shape our habits. Habits gradually create our lives. While circumstances certainly matter, the way we interpret those circumstances often determines how we respond to them. This doesn't mean positive thinking magically solves every problem. Life remains unpredictable. Challenges, losses, and uncertainty are part of every human journey. Yet wisdom can change how we meet those experiences. Instead of becoming defined by hardship, we learn from it. Instead of resisting every obstacle, we begin asking what it might be teaching us. One of the most fascinating aspects of Sophia's symbolism is that wisdom rarely arrives all at once. It unfolds gradually, much like dawn replacing darkness. At first, the changes seem almost imperceptible. A new perspective here, a calmer response there, a greater willingness to question old assumptions. Over time, these subtle shifts accumulate until the person realizes they are no longer reacting to life the way they once did. This gradual unfolding resembles nature itself. Trees do not rush their growth. Rivers do not force their current. Stars do not compete with one another. Everything develops according to its nature, guided by rhythms larger than immediate appearances. Human beings often resist this rhythm. We want instant certainty, immediate transformation, and visible results. Yet, Sophia's traditions repeatedly emphasize patience. Wisdom matures through practice, reflection, humility, and experience. There is an ancient observation that when the student becomes ready, the teacher appears. whether understood literally or symbolically. Its deeper meaning suggests that opportunities often become visible only after our awareness expands enough to recognize them. Have you ever noticed how learning one new concept suddenly makes you see examples of it everywhere? The information was always present. Your attention simply changed. The same may be true for opportunity, meaning, and possibility. Perhaps they have been surrounding you all along. Perhaps the universe did not suddenly become more generous. Perhaps your awareness became more receptive. This possibility forms the heart of what many people call Sophia's divine code. It isn't about forcing reality to obey your desires. It is about becoming the kind of person capable of recognizing, appreciating, and wisely responding to the opportunities life continually presents. When your perspective changes, your conversations change. When your conversations change, your relationships change. When your relationships change, your decisions change. When your decisions change, your future changes. From the outside, it may appear as though the universe suddenly opened countless doors. From the inside, something even more profound has happened. You finally learned how to see the doors that had been there all along. And yet, according to the ancient symbolism surrounding Sophia, this realization is only the beginning. Because the next stage of the divine code reveals why most people unknowingly close those doors again, even after discovering they exist.